What's going on, folks? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's a Monday. It's a Monday, and you know what? It feels like a Monday. It actually straight up feels like a Monday today. I don't know what type day you had, but man, I have been running literally from 8 o'clock this morning on. From 8 o'clock this morning on, I have either been in a meeting or I have been dealing or talking or doing something on today. I haven't been this busy in a while because I try to limit myself to a lot of the things that I was doing before. I mean, I literally have shrunk. I've shrunk my time down to where I am getting rest when I need to get rest. But today was one of those days where I was just up and going, and it just continued to go and go and go. So I tried to get as much done as I possibly can do. And I went back up, because I went back up to Stacy. So I had put this out there, and I guess I made somebody mad. I mean, which anyway, it just shocks me sometimes what triggers people or makes somebody mad. But I'm working with a family in Stacy, Minnesota, helping them out, trying to get school stuff, supplies for their kids, things like that, shoes, maybe some jeans, sweaters and things like that for the upcoming winter and things like that. Some food. We did get them some food. Was able to actually get some stuff for them with everything, and that's this again. I go back to the point of saying, it doesn't matter what someone looks like to me. My focus and what God has given me the opportunity to do is to be able to help people, and I'm proud of that. I'm so proud of that. And that's why I sit there and say, I'm not here to play that game. I'm not here to play, oh, well, it's a white person, so Rev, you shouldn't be helping white people. It's black people. Rev, that's all you ever help. That's not where I'm at. My headset is not there. My spirit that was given to me by God is not there. So I'm not going to let ignorant people from the internet, computer warriors, tell me who I can and cannot help. Because it just, that is what's funny to me. It's funny to me that we've got poor people out there, whether they're black or they're white, doesn't matter. But it's funny to me how somebody can get mad at somebody for helping somebody of a different race. That's something that will never make sense to me. Never makes sense to me. Because when I get off here, I'm about to post something. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to get triggered by what I'm about to post. But I am honored. My mom and my dad, and if you've been with me long enough, you know that my stepfather is white. Boise, Idaho white. That's where he's from. He and my mom are celebrating 50 years married on the 22nd of this month. A white man. Hold on. Y'all gonna miss this. And people ask, why is my heart the way that it is? I'm about to tell you. In the 70s, and my mom and dad was married 10 years after Virginia versus Loving. And if y'all don't know what that is, look, no, I'll tell you because I know you ain't going to look it up. So in Virginia, there was a white man that married a black woman, right? And they was like, we ain't having that. There's laws that says that no. So 10 years after they were granted the right to marry, which to me is pathetic. But 10 years after that, my mom and my dad met, and in the state of Tennessee, they could not find anyone to marry them because he was white and she was black. No one, not a black minister, not a white minister would marry my mom and my dad in Tennessee in the 70s. This is the 70s now. And it's funny how everybody always talking about, how racism this and racism that. Y'all ain't lived until you've been through racism and you've really seen it face to face. But no one would marry my mom and my dad. But they finally found this lady minister that would marry them. But once they got married, because my dad was in the military, we ended up moving to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. That's a military base in right outside of Jacksonville, North Carolina. And North Carolina is where I saw the biggest. I mean, even though we was in Memphis and we knew racism was going on. I mean, in Tennessee and down south, racism. Come on, please. But North Carolina is where I learned about racism, and my white father taught me certain things about racist people. Because when we would go off base, we had to split up. My dad, because we didn't want problems, right? We didn't want no problems with the locals there in Jacksonville, North Carolina, once we went off base. So we would split up. Like there used to be this store called Rose's. It was like a Walmart back in the day. But the big store in Jacksonville was called Rose's, and we would go in there. So my dad would go through one door, and we would go through the other door, do all our shopping, and we would meet back up at the car, right? Or like when we would go to like Onslow Beach. So we would go to off base, because the base had a beach, but every now and then we like to go to Onslow Beach there in North Carolina, right? And there was several times that my dad was called names because he had 4 black kids in the back seat and a black woman in the front seat, and they were married. And my dad, I've watched my dad cry because of the things that were said to him because he was with a black woman. I've watched a man cry. And we would sit down and we would talk about this stuff. And he would explain why it hurt his heart, why he was upset, why he was mad. And we would go through the whole thing about why he felt that it was important for me, my sisters, and my brother to understand why there were certain people in this world, why they felt the way that they did. So this is who I learned, and I got to see the racism that was coming off my dad. But what I'm saying, I say all of that to say that when I do post a picture, I'm probably going to hear from some of those people that my dad talked about. But my dad gave me a call up and was saying that he wanted me to be the official at their wedding. So in other words, what I'm saying is I get to marry my mother and my father again, which is awesome. To me, that's an honor that I get to marry these two. So they've been married for 50 years. They went through some hell and back by people who did not like that a white man and a black woman was together. And I got to see that with my own eyes. So that's why I say when people talk to me about racism and all this here type of stuff, hey, right here, I saw it with my own eyes. I watched it happen. I heard the things that was said to my father because he fell in love with my mother, who was not his color. So when people sit there and go, oh, Rev, you're always talking about racism, I got a reason to. I got a reason, and I got every right to. And I know about it, and I've seen it. I've lived it. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. But I am overwhelmed. I mean, the phone call was awesome, and I get, like I said, I get to. They want to redo their vows, and my dad called me up and asked me if I would do it. I think that's pretty cool. That's probably one of the cool, other than marrying my son, because I did marry my son and his wife. And if my other son does what he's supposed to do, fingers crossed, and marry who he's with now, I will be, I done married both my boys and my niece. And now it'll be my mom and my dad that I get to marry. So I got my, I'm riding on 10 tonight. I'm riding on 10 tonight. But anyway, so let me start tonight this way. Let me start tonight this way. And I've said this years ago, and I'm going to say it again. I told you so. See, it's funny how no one gave a damn that these white liberal Catholics, libertarian, and not libertarian, sorry, take that back. Take that back. Let me pull that back. But you know who I'm talking about. When Bush started it, that's who started it. But when Bush started bringing these people to Minnesota, a lot of us that looked like this was like, hell no. And we fought it tooth and nail. But no one wanted to listen to us. No one wanted to hear us out. No one. Everybody was like, all right, you know, that's cool. So when they went over to Riverside and they cleared out all the black people over there in that Riverside area, and then they dumped them people over there, they thought, okay, let's just put them over here. When the white liberals with the guilty conscience said, we'll take them all. As many as you want to bring to Minnesota, we'll take them. And the black folks was like, hey, wait a second. No one said anything to us. You didn't talk to us. You didn't ask us about it. You didn't ask us what we thought about it or how we feel about it. Nothing. We got nothing out of this thing. And y'all brought them here and you dumped them in black areas. And then they start outgrowing black areas. And they have. And now they going into the suburbs. Now those in the suburbs are freaking out, especially over, like I told you, a couple weeks ago, I was over in Bloomington. I was over in Bloomington having a meeting, and the people over there are losing their mind. But he said, what about St. Louis Park, Rev? Well, they snuck up on the people over in St. Louis Park. They did it sneaky. Even the people in St. Louis Park did not realize what was happening to them until it was too late. By the time the people in St. Louis Park realized that these people had came in and was taken over, there was nothing that they could do but move the hell out, move over a little bit. And next thing you know, there's a mayor sitting over there in St. Louis Park right now as we speak. And it's getting, and it's just growing. Then they go out to Lakeville and try to buy land. They go out to Lakeville, right? And decided to use somebody to buy some land and all this here type. So Lakeville is pretty much filling up out there. Burnsville, my understanding. I'm just telling you what they're telling me about some of these places. I haven't been there to see it. But Land on Lakes, it's another place. But we had no say-so in this. I was going back and forth with this dude today. He's trying to point the finger at black. We had nothing to do with this. There was not one day that black folks were saying, y'all know what y'all need to do is go over there and rescue them people and then bring them back. We had nothing to do with this, man. So point the finger at the people, your people. It wasn't us. We were the one that's sitting here going, y'all don't even know who you, do y'all even understand these people's mindset? The tribal mindset, that's what we kept saying. It's not about working with people. It's a takeover mentality. Take over. Dominate. Have y'all not researched Islam at all? Have you not researched the mindset of at any point in time? Apparently not. Not like we have. We know. I know that. I've researched it. But now they're coming in and taking over your schools. Now they're coming in and taking over your homes and being put on these boards and all this here type of stuff. Now? But then you got some still out there thinking, oh, I live far enough away from the Twin Cities, I shouldn't even worry about it. There's nothing about the Twin Cities that I'm not going to. No, you're not going to the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities is coming to you. The Twin Cities is going to be coming to you. You don't have to worry about going down there. Don't have to worry about it. It's coming to you. I went, so yesterday, hold on, I'll show you this bonehead that I was dealing with. So yesterday, I was over in Riverside, and so Riverside is gone. All those buildings over there. The last place to fall is trying to think of the name of that restaurant that's over there. That's been there, that bar restaurant that's been there for like years. This place been there for years. The Palace, Palladium, something like that. But that's about it's going to close down. And once that building over there on Cedar, if you go down Cedar, on Cedar, that's going to be it. Everything over there is either Somali, African, Muslim, so on and so on. All the way down that strip. All the way down that strip. Completely owned. And a few years ago, there was nothing over there that had a sign on it that you could not read, that you could read all the signs over there a few years ago. Not now. And it's moving. It's moving. It's growing. It's getting like this here. And the thing about it is they're not just putting up with, let's stay in this little slummy area. We deserve better. Right? And they're out in Anoka. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're out in Hopkins. That's another. Oh, yeah. Hopkins. Go to Hopkins and go over by the baseball field, over by that park. Go to Hopkins, go over by the baseball field, by the park. You see what I'm talking about. You see exactly what I'm talking about. Hopkins. Mm-hmm. But Bloomington is going to be the next one, the next area to fall. I guarantee you in 3 years, there's going to be board members, and then there are going to be people running for mayor of Bloomington. Watch. So here we are fighting each other. Here we are upset that Rev is out in Stacy helping a white couple. And there's other groups that are literally taking over the state of Minnesota. This is why I've said it, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. Hear what I just said? Until I'm blue in the face. That's going to be a lot of... Anyway. We have to come together, people. We do. We've got to stop this. We have to stop it. Because if we don't, mark my word, please write the date down and write what I'm saying down so we can go back if we don't do the things we're supposed to do. So I can go again. I told you so. I can say it. I told you so. I told you this was going to happen. I told you if we don't get them together, then we're going to be lost. See, it's not, things, it's funny how it never bothers people until it's too late. And by the time they're standing on your doorstep, knocking on your door saying, we have bought this property, people are just not going to wake up. So I saw the urgency in this situation when the DFL, the socialist part, who are trying to break off from the DSL, they're trying to split. It's almost like the MAGA, right? You got the Republicans and then you got the MAGA group. You have the Democratic group and you got the Democratic Socialist group. That's pretty much what's going on. It's almost the same thing. But the problem is the Democratic Socialist group is saying we want power. We want as much power as we can get. And in order to get that power, we have to align with these radicals. The way out there. Same thing with same thing on the Republican side. You know you got them right wingers, the ones that's way out there now. And then you got the normal ones. Same thing with this here group. Because when you can sit there and say to yourself that there is no room in the city, in a city that's plagued with drugs, in a city that's plagued with assaults, in a city that's plagued with carjacking, in a city that's plagued with theft, when you can sit there and say that, plagued with murder, gun violence, gangs, And then you can sit there and really look at people, and people can get in a room and say, we don't need police, when something is wrong with you. You have lost your anyway. Look, and I've said this here before, and you won't hear Alpha News or Liz Collins ever giving you anything that we see in the streets. Nothing that really happens with the police. You ain't going to see that. They will never report to you. I have made reports on the police department because I know what they do. Is the Minneapolis Police Department perfect? No, it's not. It needs a change. It does. There's things that needs to be done. And the Minneapolis Police Department knows this. And this is something you can look up for yourself. I'm not telling you something that you cannot look up yourself. Look at the DOJ report. But there is never going to be a day, and I bitch and moan about the police department because I've seen them do things that I will sit there always say, that's just not right. That is police brutality. But there's never going to be a day that I'm going to sit and say, that we don't need the police. That is nuts. That is, and that's what you have with these so-called socialists. The dude who's trying to be mayor right now was 110. He was putting the gas in the vehicle that they drove around saying, defund the police. He was. Two of the people on the city council, we got rid of them. Two of them who was driving the car. We got rid of them for that reason. But the dude who he scrubbed all his page of the defund the police, anything. You won't find nothing. But see, he can't fool somebody who was right there and saw what he was doing. He can't fool somebody who was right there and heard what he said. He can fool y'all because, see, y'all wasn't there. Y'all didn't see it and you didn't hear it. So he can fool everybody, but he ain't fooling me. He is a proponent for getting rid of the police department. Any means necessary. Any means. And there's other ones, activists on that city council that believes the exact same way he do. And only thing they need to do, if he gets in the office, and all of a sudden they get on this here wave of this the Democratic Socialists get on this wave, and they get a few more activists on that board. Can you imagine a city that big that's going through what it's going through right now that don't have a police department? If he gets on, police will be fleeing. Y'all thought police was fleeing with the George Floyd matter. But they know what they're going to get if this dude gets on the police, gets in the mayor. We all know what's going to happen. There's going to be no more police. There will be no more police. There's not enough police right now. A 100 police cannot serve that community. 50 police cannot serve that community. 25 cops cannot serve that community. And it's not as if they're getting new recruits every day, because people know. People who want to be a cop know. what they're about to deal with if there's a cop that stays, if he gets to be mayor, and if there's a police, especially a white police, oh Lord, and he stays and he makes a mistake and he shoots somebody, he'll be Derek Chauvin. He will be Derek Chauvin. If he becomes mayor and I was a white police officer working in Minneapolis, I wouldn't do nothing. I wouldn't arrest nobody. I wouldn't stop nobody. I wouldn't even talk to people. Because you talk to somebody and they think and then they fall down and say, this cop punched me. That's how I got down there. And the cop never done anything but because he's a white cop. No, y'all think I'm joking. I'm being dead serious. These cops are going to be like, I cannot risk my life being down here anymore. I can't risk my life dealing with the public, and I can't risk my life with the city council and the mayor. And once they have ran the police off, who then? Is going to pull? See, and then you got these white liberals down there who stay in their area, which is heavily patrolled by the police. That's why they're able to move around. Who will get on a bike and ride in these nice areas, who will take photos and pictures and say, look how nice it is. Are in for a rude awakening if this dude gets in office. But they don't care because they feel they're safe for now. So part of me wants for him to get in office. I'm serious. Part of me wants him to get in there so it can all go downhill. So some of these white liberals can run around with their hair on fire, screaming and yelling. So I can go back in there and go, I told you. What did I tell you? I told you. You're messing with fire and you don't understand it. But I'm not willing to give up the city. I'm not willing to watch that city go downhill like this. And I'm not willing to sit back and let the elderly suffer, the poor suffer for a group of boneheads to try to get into power. That's what this is about. This is all about power. This is all about taking over. And these white liberals who feel that they're going to benefit by letting another group steal and destroy. And out of that, they think they're going to get the kickbacks of the power. It's just not worth it. It's not worth sitting back letting them do that. So I got a group of some of the most powerful ministers in Minneapolis together. And told Mayor Fry, that we're willing to come in one more time and save your ass. Because we did it before. And you let us down. We did it before. And we don't feel that you did the right. You're busy jumping up on their stage, speaking their language, cool. Waving their flag. And the very people that you bent over for are now ready to burn you at the stake. And the people who was in your corner all this time You turned your back on us. But I'm not willing to give this other person the keys to the city to watch the city burn down. So Mayor Fry is the best bet for us right now. We have to come together as people and get behind him to make sure he stays in office, because we know what we're going to get on this side. And this is one of the reasons why all those people who love to say, I live out here and I'm not worried about what goes on in Minneapolis, and that's why I encourage you. I encourage you to get on board before it's too late. I encourage you to start looking at certain places here in Minnesota and watch what they're doing. Watch how certain people are moving. Because at this point, no parts of Minnesota is out of reach. Because if these white liberals can take them and put them in your community, and be able to turn your school board, be able to turn your local elections, be able to turn your city hall for power, watch and see what happens. They will do it. One of the things that I've learned about these liberals, they don't have a cutoff valve. They don't have a cutoff switch. Wherever they can get power from, that's where they're going. That's where it's going to happen. They will look at, okay, where can we get in to fit in? And then the next thing you know, you're going to be like the people of Bloomington in their town hall meeting going, why did this happen? And who saw it? And they're going to be buying your house and moving you out of the way to build a structure to make sure that they are comfortable. I can only tell you what I know. I can only tell you what's happening. So we have to get behind Mayor Fry. Not saying he's the best, but he's a stopgap. He's a stopgap of what could happen. And that's what we're going to do. So we will be sitting down with him. He and I have had conversations. We're going to get everybody together and we're going to be sitting down with him going, here's the deal. We want to make sure you understand that we are going to get behind you and save your butt. But we don't expect you. We expect you to act like now that we are in the community. And when the community needs things and we need help, period, point blank. All right? But like I said, we fought long and hard with no help from nobody to say that you cannot be bringing people in and just dumping them in our neighborhood, because that's what was done. And now few years later, look at where we're at. Look at what's going on. Look at what's happening. Every time you hear fraud in the state of Minnesota, you don't even have to guess anymore who it is. You don't even have to guess anymore what group it is. You don't. I remember when it first started, everybody like, well, how can you say it's just one group? That's just being racist, Rev. You're being racist. How can you just call out? Nobody's saying that anymore, are they? Nobody's saying that anymore, are they? That's what I thought. So what I'm saying to people tonight, and I've been saying this here for a while, if you don't think it's important for you to understand what's going on right now in Minneapolis, then you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Because if I'm back here, God willing, that I'm here 5 years from now, and if we don't step up, I'm going to be same place, probably same house, probably same background, probably same shirt, because I've had this shirt for I don't know how long. Different glasses. I'm going to have different glasses next week, but I'll be having different glasses, though. But I'll be probably going, I told you so. I told you. When you're crying about your stores closing down because all the robbery, the thieving, the stealing, and everything that's going on in your community. When you're crying about your kids coming home and they're learning new languages and things like that, and they ain't got enough teachers because they got to bring in other teachers to teach all of these here. When all of that stuff is going on, and I get to come back on here and say, I told you. Mark one down for Rev. 3. It's important, people, for you all here in Minnesota to stop for a few minutes and go and read about the people who want to take over. And it's not just him. It's all 3 people who are running against Fry are basically activists. Basically believe in that mindset of being a socialist. All 3 of them. So that's what I'm telling you. There is no one. There is no nobody else. It's Fry and the 3 dodo birds, Larry, Curly, and Moe, who believe in this socialist mindset that we're going to put grocery stores all over the Twin Cities. And these grocery stores are going to be government ran. And like I said before, my problem I have with that, look, I don't mind feeding people. You know that. I don't mind helping a family. If a family of 4 came into a grocery store and they said, I cannot afford to eat, I don't see anything wrong with that grocery store going, hey, I'm going to give you bread, I'm going to give you milk, I'm going to give you eggs, I'm going to give you those type of necessities. I can understand that, right? Right? If it was a government store and they did that, no different than a food shelf. Even though it's a government store, taxpayers paid for it. But here's the problem that I have, and I know it's going to happen. The problem that I have, CJ, how you doing tonight, CJ? The problem that I have, CJ, is when the stoners, the druggies, the addicts go in and steal from this store and then go back out and sell what they sold in the store for their fix. I have a problem with that. And the store knows what's going on, but because they're government ran taxpayers' dollars, They don't feel they got a right to stop that person from doing that. And I know that is exactly what would happen, CJ. I know that would happen because they expect these stores, the Cub over in St. Paul there, off Snelling. That place is being robbed left and right. But there's people in that community that's upset that Cub is leaving. That Cub can't sustain what was going on. It just can't. But these socialists believe we should have stores like that throughout the Twin Cities to where people can just go in and pick whatever they want and then walk out on the same sidewalk as the store, sell the product they just stole out of the store. They did it right there at that's why Walgreens on Broadway is closed. People will steal out of Walgreens on the same sidewalk they stole out of this place. They are selling the product right there on the corner. Walgreens shut down. Gone. Peace. Same thing with Aldi's. Aldi's could not sustain what was going on. Peace. Say you go to Brooklyn Park, the Walmart out there, the Cub out there, the food stores out there. Peace. Why? Because so much was walking out the door. And they just couldn't put up. The Cub over in on Broadway in Minneapolis right now, they put extra security in there, police officers. If not, they would be getting robbed blind. Well, they are getting robbed blind, and they're begging them to stay. I mean, but that's what they want to do with your taxpayers' dollars. Like I said, I wouldn't mind. Okay, fine. That's what you want to do with my taxpayers. If you want to help a family come in there and that family needs food and you want to give them food, I'm okay. All right. No problem. I have no problem with that. But again, the problem with these stores that are closing, especially in the black community, is because people are stealing out of these stores, and these stores just cannot sustain that. They cannot, they can't live like that. They just can't do it. And then they call it a grocery store desert because these people are leaving. They don't have a choice but to leave. They're getting robbed blind. So yeah, they're going to leave. That's going to happen. And if that's where you want your tax dollars to go, sit back and say nothing. But I'm just telling you what you will be looking at. So and that would just be another way for the government to find a way to put money in their pocket, right? There'll be another fraud going on through groceries. We already had that through talking about feeding kids, and they wasn't feeding kids. They will find a way. They will find a way. I guarantee it. So you have to get up and start doing. You have to get up and start researching. You have to get up and start hearing this. You have to get up and start understanding how important it is. Because you have people inside of Minneapolis that is just so beat down, they don't even know what to do anymore. And to talk to them a lot of times, what CJ say, it feels like it is by design. The Brooklyn Park and closed. Yep, the Cub in Brooklyn Park closed. Yeah, South closed. It's because it's not by design. CJ, they're trying. These places want to stay open, but think about let's CJ. Let's look at the Walmart in Brooklyn Park. How much more stuff can they put behind plexiglass so people won't steal from them? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you would have, it's at a point where they had to put the whole store behind. You come walking up there and you hand them a list, and then somebody go and pick that stuff out for you. And then you understand what I'm saying? No one will be allowed in the back of the store. You can only come to the cash register and you give people your list. That's the only way that Walmart in Brooklyn Park would ever be able to stay. They robbed that place blind. Not only were the public, but the employees. Don't forget about them, CJ. They were sneaking out the back door. They was getting doubled on there. They didn't have a choice. Just like the Cub. The Cub was getting mangled over there in Brooklyn Park. They had to go. They just could not keep losing money like that. And these socialists wants to take and replace Cub with a government-ran grocery store. And exactly the reason Cub left, they want to sit there and let people do that, CJ. They want to let people take from there and say, oh, well, it's okay because it's taxpayers' money that is funding this here grocery store. Like I said, I'm cool with that. I'm just not cool with the part, CJ, that people are stealing it, selling the items, and then go and get a fix by design by the. Yep, you're right. By design by the socialists. This is what socialists. I would. You know what? I'm just going to go out on a limb and kind of say they probably. You're right. They probably put these people up to go steal from there, so therefore they can shut them down. You know what? We don't know, right? See, I don't know. But what I do know is they robbed these places blind to the point to where they didn't have a choice but to leave. They didn't have a choice but to leave. Solo is another grocery store. For a lot of people who don't know, if you ever go down Lowry, there's another grocery store. It's what we call black grocery store, right? Because they sell a lot of black stuff. But it's called Solo. But they're so armed in there. They got security guards and cops and everything over there to keep that place open. Or it will close. Then there'd be no place to go grocery shopping. So when these places close, everybody's on the move. Right? So the public in that area have to go somewhere else. And if the public in that area have to go somewhere else, guess who else goes with them? That's right. And that's coming to a place near you. That's coming to a place near you. Think about it. No, sit back and think about it for a second. May not hitting you hard now, but it will. It's like I told people over in Plymouth. I told people over in Robbinsdale. Right? A while back, I said, check your receipt, like when you buy stuff, and keep track of it and see if you're going to be paying because the Brooklyn Park, the Brooklyn Center, grocery stores, and everything else over there has closed down. So now you're the next place that people can go to buy groceries. See if your grocery bill has went up because they have moved over there and start stealing from you in your community, in your area. That's how that's going to affect you. Watch. See what happens. Because again, like I said, a lot of people don't have any place to go. So they got to go next door. And if next door is Hilltop, next door is Fridley, next door is Coon Rapids, next door is Anoka, if next door is Bloomington, next door is Eaton Prairie, if next door is Edina, Llano Lakes, that's where everybody's going. And those who is going to do something that they're not supposed to do is going to be the one that's coming along with them. So, please, ma'am and sir, like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. Only thing you have to do is start looking into what's going on. Only thing you have to do is start following people who are in Minneapolis. Follow the mayor. Follow Mayor Fry, and watch how this thing is playing out. Watch how this thing is going down. Watch how what's happening with this here whole situation. Because I can tell you now, point blank, that somewhere down the line, things are not going to be what you think they are. Not at all. Let me finish tonight with this here, and I because a few people sent me what was said about me by a certain person, and I'm going to address it this way. And not only what was said about me, but then I had another person who, like I said, travel with evil spirit, decide to try to call me out this week and say some things that was not right and was not true. This dude right here, this dude is the biggest liar on the internet. He's a liar. He's a devil. He is one of the spawns of Satan. And I'm going to put it to you plain and simple like that. That's what he is. This piece of crap. He's not worth it, but he's part of the story. He's part of the story. But this piece of crap. So one of the things that we did, and I'm proud of what we did. We was able to do this. We made sure that there were no, the reason this piece of crap is anywhere near my mention right now is for this reason. He said, at RevChristopher told me he wasn't aware of the call to prayer ordinance passed in 2023 being blasted around Little Mogadishu, right? Said he went to the area and never heard a thing. So not only does he not see no evil, this person right there is one of Satan's spawns. You don't never hear me go this deep on people. But you know what? I'm not gonna sit and let somebody like this get on the internet and lie on me. So this person I met through because Shelly from Crime Watch. We're going to get into that here in a couple seconds. This is only going to take me a few minutes, and then I'm going to be done for the night. But what happened was, and the Somali community wanted to blast the prayer. and they put in through city ordinance and everything like that. And the boneheads over at City Hall was like, okay, whatever you guys want, you can have it. And we're like, wait, no. Because see, when COVID hit and we wanted to put speakers outside and speak to our people, you would not let us do it. So y'all ain't doing that. And we fought them tooth and nail. They couldn't do this. It's not that I'm fighting to say for them to be able to do. I'm happy that they are not allowed to do that. So when this evil spirit person tried to put me out on Front Street, I've got to call him out. So I said, what time and date do you want to meet me down? And I was down there yesterday. Y'all saw the video. You want to meet me down there on Cedar? He said, tomorrow at 1:15. Only thing you have to do is give me a place. I'll go. I'm there. Period, point blank. I did it all through. You know how many places I went during this CRT crap? When everybody was giving me places to go for CRT. You know how many places? You notice we never heard anything else about CRT? Have you ever noticed that? Have you noticed how you have never heard nothing else about CRT? Remember when CRT was all the buzz? Everybody was going nuts and white kids was being... Is this thing on? You don't hear nothing about no CRT no more, right? Because they was lying, and I told you they was lying. Same thing with this knucklehead. So he's like, tomorrow, Sunday, yesterday. So Saturday, he said he was going to be there. I get down there at 1 o'clock. He said 1:15. I was like, I'm going to make sure I'm down there early enough. I'm going to get there and get a good spot. I wanted to make sure I was front row. I get down there. Sure enough, that coward, lowlife, did not show up. I was down there for 45 minutes. And this is the second time I've been down there. So let me make sure first time I went down there, I just went down and sat. I didn't feel a need to make a video or anything like that. Then I came back and I was like, hey, I went down to. But this time I wanted to make sure that everybody knew exactly where I was at. Like I said, and if you saw the video that I did, you knew, and you from Minnesota, you knew exactly where I was at. Showed you the building, the whole nine. You knew I was on Cedar. I was at Riverside. I was in, as he says, Little Mogadishu. Right on the streets. This coward didn't show up. So I just want to make sure y'all understand something, because I'm going to block him. I'm going to block this evilness. I'm going to block him. So when you see him running around the internet going, oh, Rev blocked me because I disagreed with him, he's a liar. He's a liar. Well, how did you meet him, Rev? He's one of Shelley's from Crime Watch. And y'all sent me the little crap that Shelley is trying to do now, right? There was a little black boy in Tennessee that was running with a pipe. And he ripped, the pipe hit a little white girl's dress. He ripped the dress, and the little white girl was crying. And when the people heard the story, they thought that the black kid did something. They arrested the black kid and he went to court, but they couldn't find enough evidence on this black kid to put him in jail. So his parents sent him to Nashville. There was a mob that went to Nashville and got this kid, brought him back to town, and hung him. I tell you this story for this reason. I don't bug or say anything to or about Shelley from Crime Watch. I don't. One time, I asked her if she could tone down some of the things that's been said in a way, because I like the website. I'd go on the website. If you followed me long enough, you know when I first came on here, and I've got the DMs. I can put the DMs of Shelley and I going back and forth, wishing each other Merry Christmas. I was one of the ones out there going, this website is awesome. People need to give her $5 to keep this going. I was behind the web page, her website, like you wouldn't believe. I use her web. There was times I would use her web page to know when things, to leave my house to go where she was reporting, because she was that good. She's that good at, and I said that. I've never said one bad thing about her or about her pay. Only thing I asked her to do is, as a black man, every time I go to your page, some of the things that white people were saying about black people on your page, it turned me off. If I started a page today, let's be real for a second, because I know what would happen, and y'all know what would happen. If I started a page today, even on my page, if I was to, when I got off here, if I was to put 6 videos up of white people fighting and beating on each other, come on, what would happen? If I put 5 pictures of white men being pedophiles, which in Minnesota, come on now, if I put that on, that would piss y'all off, because that's not what you come to my page for. That's not what you want to see. I feel the same way. Send the monkeys back, drown the monkeys. And the new thing that I learned on Shelley's page is when they're talking about white women who is romantically involved with black. Mud shark? That's what you call? Mud shark. Wow. So I asked her to tone that down. That's all I ever did. I've never once said, but you know why I've never said anything to her? I've never went after her like that? Because the minute I do, that little black boy that I just talked to you about, that's what you want to treat me like. Oh, Rev is being mean to the white woman. Y'all know it. Come on. She knows. Shelley knows she's protected. Shelley knows I cannot go after her. She knows that. Shelley knows I cannot. She knows I can't say bad things to her, because all of a sudden, like we say, white woman tears. And what would happen? Y'all would come after me like no tomorrow. And you know that as well as I do. I ain't stupid. I told y'all, my white daddy taught me about racism. I know this stuff. I know what would happen. So Shelly knows from Crime Watch, she knows she's protected. So what does she do? Right here. I haven't done anything to her. So that piece that she decided to put out on me, or try to put out on me, or try to make a big noise, here is what happened. Okay? Watch this. Cody killed a black man. Look it up. D. Hill. Cody did. Killed the black man. Cody, in the community, identifies as white. He walks around as white. He talks white. He acts white. He tells everybody he's white. Everybody in the neighborhood knows Cody is white. So when Cody killed the kid, you know what everybody in the community said? The white kid did it. When they described Cody to the police, the white kid did it. That's how the police went and got Cody. You go over there right now and say, who killed D. Hill? You know what they're going to say? The white kid did it. Because Cody never told anybody he was American Indian. Cody ain't never said that to nobody. So we didn't know. So I was going back and forth with somebody, and we were talking about the police, and they bring that situation up. I have not looked into Cody's background because my wife and I sat in D. Hill's mom and dad living room, and mom's and grandma's living room. Y'all helped us help them bury the kid. And the grandmother said, the white kid killed my grandson. And when we was handing him a check, I didn't look into Cody's background. I had no clue. Zero clue. I'm going off what the streets tell me. So I made a reference. The white kid, the white dude killed him. And Shelly decided, instead of going, hey, Rev, that was wrong. You got that wrong. He was an Indian, an American Indian. I have no problem in moving back on something that I got wrong. Zero problem. Could have easily done that. But what she does, she runs a little thing going, well, every time he says something stupid, I'm going to start a thread. Well, go for it, Shelly, because the last time you came after me, I got 150 people from you. So please, Shelly, please, I'm begging you, because I need more followers. Come get me. I ain't done nothing to you. I've never done anything to you, Shelly. Ever. I ask you to do one thing. And because you know and I know very, very well that people go to your website with tissue in their hand, hello, and you know what brings money into your website. I didn't ask you to completely stop doing it. I just asked you to tone it down. That's all. I've never said anything bad about you. I love your website. Matter of fact, Shelly, when I used the picture from your website, you came at me, right? And you said, give you credit. What did I do, Shelly? What did I do? I went right back on my page. I said, totally my fault. I'm sorry, right? For using a picture off your website and not giving you credit for it. I gave you full credit for that. I don't mean you no harm. I'm not bothering. I don't do nothing to bother you. But see, people, what's going on right now is the encryption is going on. And she can't pull that much content, black content anymore. And that website is kind of going like this a little bit. So I'm an easy mark because she knows she's protected. I cannot go after her. Because somewhere in that little loop that she's trying to make with me, she's going to become the victim. And I ain't never said nothing bad about this woman. Ain't never said one thing bad about her. I still go to the website. I still look at what she can. Because what she does is, I said it again. I said it from the beginning. I'll say it ever. What she does is hard. What she does is needed. It is. It is. It's hard what she does. And it is needed is what, because you will not get the truth from a lot of things. And she tells the truth. And I give her kudos. Kudos for the way she runs that site. Only thing I said was, as a black man, it's hard for me to go on your site and every single day we've been called monkeys and gorillas and every other name that they can come up and think of. All is here. That's it. That's all that's the only thing can you have them tone it down? So somebody like myself can enjoy it. Because if I was doing exactly what was there, if I was doing that, y'all would tear me up. Hell, I can't even go to Stacy and help a white couple without somebody getting on here, getting on me for doing that. I can't even do that. Let alone be able to do what Shelly does and get away with it. So Shelly knows I can't do anything. She knows that. And because of that, I'm an easy mark. So she can come at me. She can say what she wants about me. She can call me names. She can make memes of me. She can sit there and, just like she says, every time I say something stupid, I'm going to make a thread with everything I'm saying. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. I understand the encryption got you down right now and you need content for them to I get it. I get it, but I'm here. They say I never look at the comments on the site. Well, right. But I do, CJ. I do. I because like I said, I've got 4 hours in a day that I'm sitting there with tubes coming out of me. They pumping stuff out. I got 4 hours to sit there and waste. But I've never said anything bad about her. I've never put her down or anything. I like the website. I like what she does. I've always said that. And I'm not going to get into a back and forth with her because, like I said before, I'm not stupid. It's a history. This is a history. Because the minute I go at her, the minute I say something, guess what happens? Oh, that mean black man. Then I've done something wrong and I haven't said word A. And then I get people like this dude. I know where he comes from. He's the one. His first get up out of this thing was to send me what Shelly said, and some of y'all saw it because a few of you DM'd it to me, and I said I'm gonna let it go until this here jackass decided to come on my page and start doing. Then I said I have to address this. So again, she knows. She's smart. She's smart. She knows Rev can't do anything. She knows that. She knows I can't come after her. She knows that. She knows I've got to sit back and let her say and do whatever she wants. Because the minute I do, I'm going to have a bunch of people on my page saying I was rude, I was mean, this mean black man coming after this white woman. That's history. And ain't nobody, so Shelly, bring it on. Bring it on. Because the last time you told people that I hate white people, right? That's what you told them, that I hate white people. You made a meme of me. And your minions came after me for a whole week. And like I said, the funny part about that whole week, dude, I picked up like 150 people in like 3 days just from being attacked. So I'm going to say this here. And this is the reason why I tell people, anybody who follows me, and you see somebody coming after me, do not say anything to them. Because, see, if you're not ready to deal with someone with an evil spirit, don't do it. Because they'll get on your page and start doing things and calling you names and making you feel. See, you can't make me feel bad. There's nothing that they can say that can make me feel bad. Once I realized where my life is, where my bread is buttered. Once I turned my life, I don't live my life for me anymore. I live my life for my Lord and my Savior. I do, and I'm not joking. So there's nothing you can do that's gonna hurt me. And when I get evil people and evil spirits on my page, I don't want you guys dealing with them because you're not prepared for that. You haven't practiced up for that. That's why I tell you, leave them alone. I'll deal with them because I like to let them talk because they tell on themselves. Just like this, like I said, this coward that I'm dealing with that told me point blank that he was going to meet me and he didn't show up. I'm going to block him. But that's what they want. That's what these people like. They like for me to block them, and then you see them all over going, why I block? I told you. The only way you get blocked from me, if you get personal with me, you start calling me names, calling me this, saying that, or if you come on my page and you're racist. Those are the only thing. I don't block people because you disagree with me. We can have a conversation. I love having conversations with people. I'll give you my phone number. We'll get off of this thing. We can talk on the phone. That's the only way everybody that's been blocked by me. Those are the two reasons. Not because they disagree with me. Not because they say I was wrong. Forget it. I'm wrong. Okay, then I can do better. That's the thing. If you tell me I'm wrong, I can do better. I promise you. I promise you. I can do better. But in your heart, if you come on my get up and here you are being just flat out ignorant and rude, sorry. I can't hang with you that way. So for all those who sent me the little thing that Shelly did from Crime Watch, thank you. Appreciate it. But like I said, there's nothing I can do. And she knows it. Right? You can send it to me, whatever she says about me, but she knows there's nothing that I can do. She knows that. Because the minute I fire back, she becomes the victim. I'm the bad person. All because I asked her to please tone down, because I want to enjoy, like I said, I want to enjoy your site also. I enjoy going on there. I enjoy looking at it. But it makes me sick to my stomach to see and to read some of the things that people say about black people. If I would say half of the things that they said about white people, y'all would call me racist to the core. Yeah, you would. You know that. You know it. 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 So Shelly knows from Crime Watch. She knows. She knows I can't retaliate. She knows. And this is another thing she knows. She knows I won't. Because that's not the type of person I am. She knows I won't. Because that's not the type of person I am. I like I said, I have nothing bad to say about her. I don't. No matter what she says about me, no matter how she try to cut me, no matter how she try to portray me. I mean, especially when she says, that I hate white people. 50 years ago, a white man married my mother. I got to hate him. If I hate white people, I got to hate the white man who raised me. If you go by Shelley's logic, that I hate that, because that's what she said. I've got to hate the white man that I'm about to remarry to my mother after 50 years again. Let me say that again. The white man that married my mother 50 years ago, that took care of me, that raised me, and I'm going to remarry them in a couple of weeks. I've got to hate him if you go by her logic. Yeah, that's how much I hate white people. The white family in Stacy that I drove all the way out there to sit down with, to talk with, to help. I hate them. It's if you go by her logic. It's what she said, what she put out there. Those people I hate. The people that I went to in Glencoe, Minnesota. The teachers that we wrote a check out to. The white teachers. The ones in Llano Lakes. I hate them. This is what I'm telling you. And I couldn't say anything. I couldn't go back and battle. Because that's what she was looking for. That's why y'all sent me what y'all sent me that she put out there again about me. So I ain't bother her. And the thing, here's the thing about it also. What the girl and I was talking about wasn't about Shelley, and it wasn't about Crime Watch. But the funny part about it is when Shelley decided to put out what she put out, she covered up. Watch this. This is what I'm telling you. What she did is she covered up the conversation. And she just put in there what I said. She didn't put in there what the other person said. She just put in there. So therefore, when you look at that, it makes you mad. The minute you look at it, you read, oh, hell, that damn reverend, he's blaming white people. That's what she wanted. He's blaming white people. That damn reverend. I'm going to go on his page and I'm going to get him. I'm going to call him names. I'm going to say things to him. That damn reverend. And it works. She knows, that's what I'm telling you. She knows how to get you. She knows how to get y'all. And y'all fall for it every single time. You don't come on here and say, hey, Rev, you put out a statement. What was that about, man? What's going on there? You don't give me the benefit of the doubt. You read that. What y'all did is you read what she wanted you to read because she covered up. Nope, that's what she did. She covered up the conversation. You read the part that I said and it pissed you off. Correct? The same thing happens to me when I go on her site and I read the crap they say about black people. That same feeling you got when you read just my answer. You know how you felt? Okay, so I can't feel that way? You hypocrites. That's what I'm saying. I'm showing you real time now. This isn't This is real time that I'm showing you how you can be a hypocrite. Because she covered up the conversation so you couldn't see it. And she only showed you what I said. So when you read what she posted that I said, not the conversation, you're going to get pissed. Because that's what she wanted you to do. And it worked on you. Because you could have easily came up. And I would have told you exactly what I said. When Cody killed the black kid, everybody in the community, to this day, if you go down to Minneapolis, go to Broadway. And what I want you to do, seriously, do this. And go down there and say, who killed D. Hill? Go to Broadway and ask that question. Everybody, all up and down that street, is going to say, the white kid. Because that's how Cody identified himself. That's what he told people he was. Everybody looked at him as a white person. When the cops came and when they went and nobody said, oh, you know that Indian, that American Indian, he did. Nobody said that. The cops wasn't looking for. Matter of fact, go on my page, go down, and look at Cody's picture, and tell me, what do Cody look like? No, go look at his picture. Because if I would have put that picture out there and said, what race is this? I guarantee you 100 people out of 100 people would have went white. I guarantee, I'll bet you $100 because he looks white. On his birth certificate, it says American Indian. I'm going off what Cody identifies as. I'm going off what the police went looking for. I'm going off what the community said he was. I'm going off what he walked around in the community as. So yeah, I said a white dude killed D. Hill. That's what I said. And you know what? I stand by that. Yeah, the birth certificate, that's what it says. American Indian, that's what the birth certificate says. But we didn't know that. You wouldn't have known that if you didn't see his birth certificate. That's how it started. And because of that, Shelley feels that she needs to put down everything if I say something dumb. That's not what she's doing. What she wants is for me to come back at her, to be aggressive, so she can go, that black man hurt my feelings. All right, CJ, you have a good night. I just wanted to say that. So if Shelley says something about me, don't send it to me. Don't send it to me. I don't care. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to give her ammo to be the victim. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not. So she can say what she wants. She can call me what she wants. I'm still going to go to her page because she has information. I will. And if I use a picture from her page, I will give her credit for that picture. But as far as going back and forth with her, no, I'm not that stupid. I'm not. I know how Twitter works. I know how the internet works. Not doing it. Not doing it. So you don't have to send me anything she says about me. You don't. I'm good. I'm good. I know what it's about. I know. You may not know what it's about, but I know what it's about. I know what it's about. Because you can't make me understand how someone who don't attack somebody, someone who don't talk about someone, but yet that person, every chance they get, goes after, want to try to antagonize, want to try to just keep, how you sit there and you just keep doing this here until finally that person blows. That's what's going on here. But see, the problem, just not going to do it. I'm just not going. It's just not worth it. It isn't. And I'm not now. Probably 10 years ago, different story. But I'm just no. It's not worth it. I'm having too much fun doing what I'm doing. Right? I mean, I've been put in positions to help people. I've been put in positions to do things for people, to speak for people. I'm having a lot of fun doing what I'm doing right now. I am. I mean, I could be down. I mean, I am literally, for those who don't know, I'm literally waiting for a kidney. Right now, a machine keeps me alive. And I've been waiting for a kidney. I got dialysis. Look, look, you don't believe me? Hold on. Let me show you something. See this thing right here? This cord. This is what keeps me alive. I plug into a machine for dialysis. This is what's right here, this cord. This cord goes in my stomach. Here, show you. This is what keeps me alive. I'm waiting for a kidney. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm on the list for a kidney. And until I get that kidney, this is what I have to do. I'm sick every single morning I wake up. There isn't a morning that I don't wake up that I'm not, like I said, sick. I have to go through that every single morning. And I have to plug up because my kidneys do not work. Zero. Think about the things that your kidney do to keep your body clean. My kidneys don't do it at all. So I get plugged up to this thing right here. And that machine does what my kidneys are supposed to do. So I don't have time. And my body, my spirit, and my soul don't have the time to deal with someone like that. I really, really don't. And when I'm out here with these people and I'm dealing with people and I'm talking with people, just like the situation that I put together with all of these here, I mean, trust me, to get ministers, especially black ministers together, you know what it took for me to do this? If you knew what it took for me to pull this off. But God gave me the ability to do this type of stuff, right? I'm having fun with my life. I don't know how long. I don't know. You know what? If I'm still here to get a kidney, I'm still gonna live awesome. If I'm not here, when I go, y'all gonna say Rev lived awesome. Period. But I'm not gonna let somebody on a website who hides behind a little emoji this big and ain't got nothing better to do than to come at me when I haven't done nothing to nobody. No, seriously. What have I done to anybody? Nothing. I don't call people out of their name. I don't get on here and try to act like I'm racist or try to be racist or all this shit. Nothing. I'm having fun. I enjoy talking to y'all. I enjoy bringing you things that I see. It's fun to me. And then I get to go see my grandkids. I get to spoil them. Like I said, just bought my grandson a motorcycle. Here he is riding around on his brand new motorcycle. I'm sitting back as grandpa, smiling and laughing because Nana and his mother thinks that he's going to kill himself. He's a boy. If he crashes, he crashes. This is what papas do. This is what we do. That's what I'm talking about. So if I let these people bring me down, and as much as what I'm going through physically gets to me, and if I let them pull me, this is the reason why I'm like the lady who grabbed Jesus' garment. See, her deal is she let it go. I ain't letting it go. I still got his garment in my hand because I realized that every now and then, Satan will show up. And when Satan shows up, Satan loves to show out. Satan is not fair in any way, shape, or form. So I've got to be ready. Not only ready, but I've got to be focused. I got to be mentally ready. I've got to be spiritually ready to deal with him. Period, point blank. Anyway, fam, I'm way over my time. I definitely appreciate y'all. I thank you very much. Oh, Bob Sansevier. You guys know who Bob Sansevier is? I'm going to be on his show tomorrow. I'm going to be hanging out with Bob Sansevier. You know who he is, right? Hold on. The Bob Sansevier show? I'm going to be on his show tomorrow. The BS show? Y'all know who he is, right? So I'll drop that or I'll have him drop it, either one. But I'm going to be hanging out with him on tomorrow. So get with that. If you're not doing anything, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. I always like to joke around with him and everything. But fam, hey, y'all have a good one. We will talk to you soon. I'm way over my time. Appreciate y'all hanging out. But again, like I said before, number one, y'all need to get in line here and understand what's about to go on. And we need to work together, people. Listen to me. We finally need to work together. We do. But let's end the night like we always end the night, realizing and understanding that we serve one and only true God, a true living God, one that makes sure that things, you don't even understand and realize that God protects you and you don't even see it. He don't even have to tell you. Things happen in your life that God just knocked it away and you just keep on walking. But this is what I can tell you for a fact, that when you're going through it, God is always going to be right there with you. I can tell you that for a fact. Not only that, but he puts you in great positions for you and everybody else around you. So the only thing I'm saying to you tonight is this here. Don't ever let go. Once you grab the hem of his garment, don't let go. Hold on tight, because every now and then you may let go and you may fall off. And that's when the demons and Satan and his minions, that's when they'll get you. I've got him like this, man. I am not letting go at all. I am not letting go at all. Period, point blank. And because you're holding on, that should keep a smile on your face. And you know what we do with those smiles? We go out and we smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Hey, fam, y'all have a good one. I will not be here Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Friday, because my grandson is getting ready for traveling tryouts. So we got a hit on Wednesday, we got a hit on Thursday, and then Friday we're going over to the big field now. He graduated to the big field. So we got to go over there and we got to do some things. We got to throw a little bit so he can get used to throwing. He's got to get used to placing his feet in certain positions. So I will not be here this week. I will very likely see you on Sunday with Dexter Taylor, and then we'll be back on Monday, and then we'll get back into a rotation. All right? Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with me. Thank you very much. Peace, fam. I'm out. Y'all have a good one. God bless.